Hello, Susie. You're looking really cute.
Oh.
Are you happy because it's sunny outside?
Yes, I am.
It was not sunny at my house.
Oh, really?
That's why I'm wearing a sweater. We're always dressed for opposite weather.
I know.
What the heck?
Mine is always like.
Well, it's because I have
hopeful.
I'm in a different climate zone, in a different temperate zone when I drive, by the time I drive to your house.
Was it cold?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, welcome to paradise.
Yeah.
then.
It was like overcast and,
Maybe it's not
from
anymore.
the beach.
Yeah. But
How you doing?
Well, when this airs, you will have come back from Hawaii. But when we're recording, you haven't gone yet.
I haven't.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited. I'm very excited to work on my tan.
Okay. But are you going to like scuba or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely for scuba. I also really want to go surfing. And I already warned Landon. I'm like, look, if I really have fun doing it the first day, you might as well just cancel our plans for the rest of the week. Because that's what I'm going to want to do.
Have you never been?
No, I have definitely been. And I love surfing in Hawaii the most because they're really manageable, easy waves that you could just stand right up on. And they're slow and fun and long. And the water's warm.
That's so nice. The water is so warm.
Yeah.
And I really wish it was like that here.
I know.
Because
Isn't
Hawaii,
it stinky that the water is so cold here?
Yes.
Yeah.
It really is.
People in New York are like, shut up. At least you can, walk on your beaches.
I guess.
But come on.
But I mean, really,
I'm
when
not going
I go
in
to
there.
Hawaii, it is like, this is like a bath.
It
and you
is
know how
a
I feel
bath.
about baths.
That's right. It's your favorite.
It's glorious. You're going to have such a nice time.
Yeah, I'm never getting out of the water.
You going to snorkel?
Yeah. I got some snorkel stuff.
I'm just like wanting you to.
I
'cause
will.
I wish I was going.
I will.
That'll be really fun.
You know what? We're probably going to go snorkeling instead of scuba diving. Because Landon doesn't do the scuba diving.
He's scared?
No, you can't regulate. You know when you got to do the nose thing? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
What seems to be the problem?
I don't know. I think he has a deviated septum, like for real.
Right.
Not like people who's getting a nose job done say that they do.
Right. Maybe just a lot of people really do have them, though.
Right. I swear he does.
Do you think that people with prominent noses tend to have deviated septums?
Which
my
husband has a prominent nose.
Oh, is that what we would say?
Yeah.
I
so
would
would
not
his
have
Jewish
said-
relatives.
Stop it. Oh, anyway, welcome to show 226.
Oh, good. That's the number I wrote down.
You got it right.
I guessed it right.
Yes, you got it right. What's on your mind today? Anything in particular?
Ooh, I've heard some really cool stories / interesting facts.
Great.
I'll just drop one little interesting fact. Mm-hmm. The history of the club sandwich was often debated.
Stop it. Why are you reading a script?
I'm not. There's no
but
script.
You sound like you are.
I'm just saying that's all. Well, because I feel like it's the appropriate way to start this.
Who is debating it? Wait.
Like where it came from. Like, does it really originate from a specific club?
Okay.
So people are saying, what club? Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But it really just stands for chicken and lettuce under bacon.
No, what
Yes.
are you saying?
That's it.
Get out of here.
CLUB. Chicken, lettuce, under bacon.
Is that what a club sandwich is, though?
Yes, the original. I even looked it up. The original club sandwiches are chicken, and we've started to use turkey, but
Yes.
not really. That's not like the original. But why do we
Are
go
you
double
sure?
decker? I looked it. I looked it up.
Wow. I am
Yeah.
shocked. It seems like
It's a
it
very
wasn't-
debated thing.
Yeah, like it wasn't actually chicken lettuce under bacon, but then someone was like, hey, we should like pretend like it's an acronym.
Yeah, like BLT.
But it's really like a club, like
Well, that's
whites
what people
only
thought.
or something.
Oh my God.
Well,
it was
like one of
developed in
those.
upstate New York.
By whom?
I don't know, some chef at a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That is a good fact. Hold on. Let's do
Right.
a news stinger.
This just in. Club sandwich really stands for chicken and lettuce under bacon.
That gets me every time when I listen back. Because the first time I did it to you, I didn't tell you. I just did it, and then you knew to do it. I was so impressed.
Give you the news update.
Chicken, lettuce,
Yeah.
under bacon. I really like club sandwiches, I will say.
Me too. But no mayo. Hold the mayo. I know, we don't agree on this.
You
but-
need something wet. Do you put mustard on there?
Yeah, sometimes.
Otherwise it'd be
I kinda
too
like
dry.
sandwiches.
That is so weird.
I
It must
know.
mean something about you.
Probably.
Do you have a dry sense of humor?
I don't know. You told me.
No, I think I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So what fun facts have you learned?
a lot.
Anything about sandwiches?
The weirdest thing that I read recently, and that's saying something because I've read a lot of weird stuff, was about this trend in Japan where it's basically for folks who either have lost loved ones or are estranged from their families for one reason or another, and they have a void in their life and they want to rent a family.
Oh.
This is, to me, like quintessentially Asian. I don't know why.
Who is the family? Are they all actors? Are they a family?
They're actors. And then, so the example in this article, which was in the New Yorker, it was about this guy whose wife had died. He loved her very much. And then his daughter was estranged from him. And so he had heard about this company called, it's some weird name like Romantic, like something that sounds too sexual for it to be about relatives, but whatever. What the heck? I can't remember what it's called.
Family fantasy.
Something like that. And so he decided to give it a try. So he rented a wife and a daughter. Oh my God. And they show up. He said, basic descriptors about their appearance. And they show up for dinner. And he mentions a few things that they do mannerism-wise. Like, my wife tends to tilt her head this way or whatever. And then these women acted the part. And then, he would just invite them over. They started, being at his house when he got home from work. He'd pay to have that. He paid to have the wife make the same recipes that his wife used to make.
Oh,
and
I see. And his wife passed away.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
this isn't just if you have shitty families.
It can be. Oh. And whatever your circumstances, they can fill that need.
I mean, in fairness, aren't we all kind of faking it at the Thanksgiving table anyway?
We're all acting.
We're all acting anyway?
I mean, maybe. And
oh, my gosh. I spent years doing that at the Thanksgiving table.
What were you acting like?
Oh, that I, wasn't a lesbian, and...
You'd be like, I love the deep dick.
Right. I'm like, this is my boyfriend. It was not my boyfriend.
What?
But he was covered in tattoos, so I wonder which was worse for them.
Right.
Anywho.
You're bringing home, Snake on his Harley.
I totally was. I'll put that picture up. Oh, my God. You'll love it. Oh, it's in full Sarah,
Tuesday sacrifice.
Yes. Full sacrifice with a gentleman on my arm who was in no way, shape, or form my boyfriend.
I don't think most of us are doing that sort of role play.
Right.
But maybe there are a lot of people who do feel like that. But in his case, since his daughter was estranged, over time, these same people were coming over. He said, even though he enjoyed it, it wasn't as if, when they left, he missed these people. Right. But he enjoyed the simulation.
He got his itch scratched.
Then eventually they kind of stopped playing their roles and kind of were more themselves. And the faux daughter planted the seed that he should reach out to his real daughter. She was like, I think she's waiting for you to call her. I think you should reach out. And then he did. And the company that rented these people said that's sort of their goal, is to become redundant and to...
Well...
be a Band-Aid more than
and you
permanent.
could kind of say that they are, what's the word? When they're a stand-in, they're like surrogates.
Yeah.
They're surrogates for the family. And if, sometimes in therapy, we kind of play, in a narrative therapy, we'll play.
You'll do role play.
Yeah, role play, a little role reversal kind of thing. And people are able to work out issues in the room with that person.
That is so weird to me.
Deeply. Not only does it just work like that, there's a technique called the empty chair technique where you can do it with an empty chair and people will cry.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
I mean,
Get it together, weirdos.
You would too, Suze.
I
could have you crying in a second with the empty chair. Yeah.
We should try.
No way. Because once you open that box, you can't go back. I can't be your therapist.
That is insane. What is not insane, though, is how friggin' awesome those Beta brand pants are. Sarah, you saw them.
Yeah. That's
How
good
cute
material.
Are they?
High qual.
Sarah was a little bit skeptical
because
she was
I've
like, I've seen something like this, and you were like, I don't know if this is going to be good. And then what did you say?
Amazing.
Right.
And I mean, Susie's eyeballs couldn't possibly be getting any bigger as she talks about this to me. It's now become the numero uno pair of pants.
Numero uno. And they have
I'm
all
gonna have to get
styles.
different styles because people are going to notice that I'm wearing the same ones to the office every day.
These Beta brand pants, they're dress pant yoga pants, and they are the most comfortable pants I've ever worn. You can wear them to work, and that way you don't feel like freaking you're in a straitjacket all day. It's like truly like a yoga pant feel, but really chic and flattering.
Oh, yeah.
And I just love that they have the dress pant detailing and everything about them looks exactly like a dress pant, but you feel like $1 million like you're in your jammies. And they're like, they look great too. I felt like my legs looked longer.
Ooh, yes, because you got
pinstripe
ones. Yes, they're slimming. Pinstripe is slimming, totally.
Like, I should only be wearing pinstripes.
Yes.
But they have such a huge selection, and they have all different sizes and shapes depending on your body type. And I got so many compliments too. But that's why I started wearing Beta brand dress pant yoga pants. So you should try them. At least check them out. Go to betabrand.com and use our code BRAINCANDY to get 20% off. Millions of women agree these are the most comfortable pants you'll ever wear to work or anywhere, I swear. I promise you that. That's betabrand.com, betabrand.com. Use our code BRAINCANDY to get 20% off your dress pant yoga pants. Okay, Sarah.
Yes, Susie.
I want to know, though, like, if you lost Landon, for example, do you think you would ever consider renting a husband to simulate?
You know what? If I were really sad, and Landon has a very specific routine, and I would miss parts of that routine.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm involved in that routine. Like, I really like when he gets up early in the morning, he makes coffee, he has time with the dogs, then our dog goes
and then Sarah gets up at the crack of noon.
No, get out. You sound like him. For the record, I got up at 5:30 this morning.
No, you actually are an early riser.
People think that I get up at noon. My husband's like, oh, she's like sleeping in. Mind you, I get up at like 6:30 every day.
Swear to holy God. I thought earlier this week about how I thought the phrase crack of noon was funny, and I was like, I got to work this in somewhere. And the sad thing is, I know you get up early. I'm sorry. I
just laughed because my husband and I was just teasing me about this, and I was like, what? Shut up. I've been at the 8 a.m. workout class every single day for 2 weeks, and I had coffee in the morning and got in my morning shit all before I went. So you have to get up early to do that.
You put up with a lot from us.
No joke.
I'm
and you
sorry.
two are one and the same.
I know. We are very similar.
Okay, what was the question?
Would you miss either?
Well,
changed my answer.
Not really.
Right.
I so like little things like that, and God, if it means that I would have to be the one to take out the trash now, ugh.
Well, that's the thing you don't want to do?
Yeah, I mean, also he's nice to have around.
Why?
Well, I was just trying to like add to,
right?
The things
soften the blow.
Soften the, it's not just for taking out the trash.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. If
would you hire one? Oh, yes, you would. So. What if? No. You know what? Then when I try to play that in my mind, it doesn't work.
Yeah, don't even say it.
No, doesn't
Nightmare
work.
City.
Nightmare. In fact, it sounds like a creepy premise for a horror movie now.
Right?
Your fake family, and then they think they're the real. Kind of like the Rosemary's Baby, or what is it, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle? Shit.
Yeah, it's weirdness.
Weird.
Okay, so that was the weirdest thing I read.
Weirdest thing I read.
This is a weird theme we're doing.
I have two weird ones. I can't even choose.
Is it spooky?
Yes.
Okay.
This is going to be weird stuff coming out of Asia episode. Because I got two more.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, this is weird one number 2. Singapore Airlines has a closet for dead people because the flight is so long and they're flying over the ocean that if somebody were to die on board, there's no place for them to stop, so they need a place to store bodies.
What?
Yes!
Are you kidding me?
No!
Wait a minute. Where are they flying?
That's
Just
the longest
anywhere?
flight. Yeah.
Wait, Singapore to where?
It's from Singapore to, is it LAX, I think?
Okay. Oh, God.
Yeah.
So they have a dead body closet. You know, here's what makes me mad about that.
What?
I don't even know how many times they've had to use it, maybe once. And yet here we are trying to pee in like 2 square inches of room.
That's a fair point. That's absolutely a fair point.
Maybe we're dying on your flights because there's no room to pee.
Want to hear something else crazy?
Yes.
People who die on airplanes aren't considered dead because you're not dead until a doctor's legally pronounced you dead. So
that is so dumb.
While they're in the air,
you're alive.
You're alive. I mean, unless like there's a doctor on board.
Okay.
Maybe.
Would that count?
Yeah, I guess so.
You know what? Doctors have too much power if we require that. Wow. That's not true though, because if you found like a rotting corpse that had been there for a year, like in someone's house, they would not say the date of death.
Oh, good point. Good point. Good point.
Maybe they do. We should investigate.
Uh-huh.
Right.
This just in. If you're dead, you may not be dead.
God, that's funny. That is really weird. How big is the closet? It better be small.
Yeah, it is. It says that it could be placed like buckled up vertically, so that's kind of creepy. And it says it's if no row of empty seats are available. So what? The other option is putting them in the empty seats? And you know what they call it?
It's like Weekend at Bernie's.
They call it the corpse cupboard.
That's ridiculous. Like, they wanted to be alliterative so bad that they're calling it a cupboard. Why wouldn't they say closet anyway? Corpse closet.
It's just kind of creepy.
You're ignoring all of my great questions.
I am, because I'm just trying to think about, like, what you'd really do in this horrific moment.
Who?
Singapore Airlines, any plane.
Like the flight attendants, you mean? Or?
Yeah.
Well, I do not envy flight attendants.
Me neither.
I mean, they get, that is, I couldn't think of a worse job.
No, and no tips.
They do have perks, though, free flights. You know, I mean, they get to go on vacations.
That's true. That's nice.
Otherwise, they get nothing but garbage from all of us.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I mean, I try so hard to endear myself to those people.
I read an article once that was like, how to get upgraded on an airplane. And one of the tips and tricks it had in there was bring See's candy lollipops for the flight attendants to offer them.
That's so specific.
That's what I said.
See's candy lollipops.
I guess because they always have See's candies at airports, so they have those lollipops available. Or somebody took a poll and stewardesses love See's. Do. This just
wait.
This just in. Airline stewardesses love See's candy lollipops.
Have you ever even had one?
Oh, yeah.
What are they, chocolate or are they
whatever flavor you want? Butterscotch, chocolate, caramel. They come in like squares. Susie, I need to bring this.
I know what you mean.
For you.
I'm picturing like chocolate.
No.
That would be better for me. I would like that.
Yeah, but then like, why do you have it on a stick? Just pop it in your mouth.
Well, I don't know, but somebody just broke the news to me because I was like talking about those cake pops.
Yeah.
Actually, it was our brainiac, Emily. I was eating one of our Sherry's Berries cake pops.
Yeah.
She came over the other day because she was in town. And I was like, how do they make these cake pops so good? They're not just cake. It's something else. And she's like, yeah, it's the frosting. They mix frosting in with the cake batter and then put it in the shell.
Yeah.
Nobody told me this.
I've made them.
When?
Just for a party once.
And you mix the batter with frosting?
Yeah, man.
How do you
And then you mush it up into a ball, which is the most fun. It's basically like bake a cake, then smush a cake.
Oh!
Yeah.
See, that makes a lot of sense, but I never thought about
And then
it.
dip it in frosting.
So good.
Uh-huh.
Those things are high in calories, though. So
Yeah, because you're basically
Yeah.
mushing it to get... I used to love doing that with Costco blueberry muffins. I would just smush them
Are
up
they
into a
like
ball.
mini muffins? 'Cause
No,
those
they're
are
like
great.
jumbo. They're the size of your... They're the
I meant
opposite.
the flavor.
Well, once I was done with them, they were mini muffins.
They should actually... The people at Mini Muffin should make jumbo muffins. What are they waiting for?
I think maybe that's just a branch of the muffin company. It all might fall under the same umbrella of products.
You think they have a variety of muffins?
Yes. I think one muffin company has multiple sizes. The same way you don't go to a different store for large, medium, and small shirts.
They really took off, though, with that.
Mini
the
muffins?
mini ones. They really blew up.
Yeah, because a big muffin is a lot.
I know, but the flavor of the mini muffins is so freaking great.
Oh, I disagree.
Them.
Bad ratio.
Well, one thing we can agree on with regard to food, though, is Omaha steaks.
It's delicious.
I mean...
Oh my gosh, I have so much in my house.
Yeah,
yes.
Me too.
And we're getting our barbecue put in. We are grilling up those burgers. We're having a whole barbecue.
Steak frenzy.
Yes. Yes.
I just had
apple
last
turnovers.
night
Ooh,
the
what?
Meatballs.
Oh, yum.
And we made pasta, and it was so good. And Lincoln was like, I'm not going to have a meatball. I'm like, you're going to have a meatball. And he was like, these are great.
Oh, so
It's
funny.
like tiger
kids.
feeding.
Yeah.
He thought they weren't for him, but boy, was he
They
wrong.
were
They're for
him.
everyone.
Delish.
So Father's Day is around the corner, and what guy does not want a big hunk of meat for the big day?
And I would like them to cook it for me. So
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, we'll put them to work. They're going to make some yummy food. You guys know how much I love Omaha steaks. And then when I got all your tweets last year, I found out how much you love them too. And this is such a great deal. Right now, Omaha Steaks is giving a limited time offer to our listeners for Father's Day at 78% off. It's an amazing deal. Go to omahasteaks.com and type brain candy in the search bar. And then you get this deal. The package includes 2 tender filet mignons, 2 beefy top sirloins, 4 chicken fried steaks, 2 boneless pork chops, 4 all-beef Omaha steak burgers, 4 jumbo franks, 12 ounces of all-beef meatballs. We love those with our pasta. 1 pound of steak fries, 4 caramel apple tartlets, 1 Omaha steak seasoning packet, and plus you get 4 more grill-ready Omaha steak burgers free with purchase.
Deal.
Again, this limited time package for only $49.99, which, by the way, is cheaper than if you got it all at the store.
Yeah,
so
way.
it's awesome. And the meat is way higher quality. When you go to omahasteaks.com, type brain candy in the search bar and add Father's Day package to your cart. Don't wait. This offer ends soon. Go to omahasteaks.com, type brain candy in the search bar, grab your dad or whoever's, and fire up the grill. Super high quality, great variety. Everybody's happy. Happy Father's Day to us. Okay, I have other stuff.
Tell me.
Did you see the new Ali Wong special?
Yes, I did.
I was wondering if you'd watch it, though, because, she's Preggers, and I thought maybe that would be triggering.
No, I thought I loved it.
You did?
Yeah, well, I have to say, for the first 15 minutes, I thought it took her a little while to get into... It almost sounded like she was doing an impression of herself.
I agree.
And then once she
was
got
doing
into
real
it...
slow.
Yeah, once she got into it, then I was like, oh, you're good.
Yeah, she was real
real
funny.
funny.
And she, man, I wish more women could just be like Ali Wong.
Me too.
I like how she said she's in that mommy group and she doesn't really like anybody.
Yes, it reminded me of you. As soon as she said that, I was like, oh, this is totally Susie.
She's in LA. I'm like, we should develop our own mommy group.
Right,
of
of people who hate mommy groups.
Or people who hate kids that have them. Because that sounds like what
it was so funny.
she's got cooking.
I think we should laugh more about those kind of things.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Do you want to hear the history of, speaking of motherhood, the mommy and me fashion?
Oh my God. I was going to talk to you about this. I even took pictures on my phone.
Did you read the article? Is that why?
Yeah, about Target's new line.
No.
We read different articles of the same thing. Oh my God.
You first.
No, you first. You're going to tell us the history.
Yeah, let me put on my music.
Oh, this is exciting.
Today I'm going to share with you the history of mommy and me fashion. The soundboard really took on a new life today.
Great.
Okay, the best part for me about the mommy and me fashion is how both the mom and me look age inappropriate. Like nobody looks right. Everybody looks wrong. So here's where it began. Let me fade that out. Okay. So for starters, they were talking about how, and this was in the Atlantic, they were talking about how when you dress the mom and the daughter the same, that it signals affluence for starters.
Oh.
Because
it is kind of that.
Yeah, like you have the money to either buy
new
matching
sets of clothes.
Right?
Yeah.
Or you have the time to sew and shop for them, which means you're not working. Mm-hmm. But then it was describing how this began in the early 1900s when Jean Lanvin, the brand Lanvin, the clothing company.
No.
Have you ever heard of that?
Lanvin? No.
Lanvin.
Oh, I never heard of that.
She launched a line. She had a daughter, and she thought it would be fun to create these patterns that were for the mom and the daughter. And she would wear them out, and they would take pictures of her because she was like a celebrity designer. Mm-hmm. And then she said as soon as she was dressed up, all she wanted to do was hide. So even though she was selling these things, there was a part of her that was like, this is freaking weird. But then during like the 1930s, the Hollywood publicity machine, you know how like they would send the women off to like those schools?
Yes. Yeah. Totally.
A part of that was like these pictorials in magazines, and they liked that look of like
and
me.
You know what? That is kind of where I remember seeing those like classic ads, and it'll be mommy and matching like mother-daughter.
Yeah.
And it kind of was, I think at the time, the assumption that you made that it was homemade,
right.
And that's the time thing.
Right. So it began like a Hollywood thing, like this is a fancy thing we do. But then, as you pointed out, like Ladies' Home Journals picked it up.
Yeah, there you go.
And they started doing these covers of the mom and the daughter. Whereas Lanvin, she would make them a woman's version and a kid's version. But Ladies' Home Journal would make them identical, including like the hairdos and everything.
Weird! Oh.
And so it signaled like that the daughter and the mom would like walk around the house doing the things together, right? So like we bake cookies together and we clean together, and like almost like an apprenticeship uniform. And then
and talk about like not, there's no individualism or identity for the child. Like you're just little version.
Yes.
And they always call them their mini-me's. I don't like that.
I think there was a quote in the article by Susan Sontag, which was about how, or maybe it was a different writer, but they said like women become their mothers, and that's like our great tragedy, which is absolutely true, at least for me. I'm totally becoming
true
Peg.
For me. I am becoming my mother.
But it eventually became sort of gauche, and it ended for a while when women went out into the workforce and, they had to dress for their jobs rather than just for hanging out at home. However, this is my favorite part. Instagram is bringing it back.
Yep, because that's why Target launched their new line.
Okay.
But this is where Target took it to another level.
What?
They included the dad and the son.
Well, that's what it said.
It's a family line.
Like the holiday thing where the whole family wears those jammies?
Yes. Suze, let me show you the pictures. Are you ready?
Pardon me. Let me... Oh, my God! Father, son, mother, daughter... And oh my God!
You hit the nail on the head when you said that it was inappropriate for every age group.
Yeah, everyone looks stupid.
Because the daughter looks like she's wearing teenage clothing, and the mother looks like she's wearing teenage clothing.
Well, supposedly the idea was that looking alike meant looking young for the mom. So like there was this thing where it made her feel like she wasn't an old hag like we all are. But to me, it's that where it's like no one looks like they should.
Yeah.
Everyone looks stupid, including those dumbass dads.
Oh, it's
Sarah
all
can't
bad.
quit looking at it.
No, I'm just reading and then there's an article in Country Living magazine that's that's obviously Target funded or whatever, that's trying to sell you on this idea that's like, you can head to the pool in swimsuits made from both adults and toddlers in the same pattern.
So then you're Instagram ready.
Yeah. Think how much better your annual family portrait will look if you wear these palm print dress and plaid shirt to the photo session.
No.
If you're not ready to wear full-blown matching outfits in public quite yet, there's also plenty of options in coordinating colors that look good together but aren't too matchy-matchy. I'll show you that picture. That looks pretty matchy-matchy to me.
Oh, my God. Well, did you ever know anybody growing up that did that? I did.
I
think it's more common in religious circles.
I think it is too, because the people who I'm thinking of were a religious family, and it was always they had their like yearly
it's
family
all
portrait.
very everyone knows their gender role, and the mom, in my case, she sewed them all, and the whole family
that's it. Same thing.
And it's like
different
conformity is,
oh my God, you're right.
A value to them.
Only people who are allowed to do this are the Trapp family, the Von Trapps. That's
and
it.
they better be made out of curtains.
Right.
Or we are our... Although the first set...
Yes, sir.
The first set they wore were like legit sailor outfits.
Oh, yeah.
Because that weird dad
That's
was
right.
like blowing that whistle.
Mm-hmm.
And then she made them out of the curtains, which was better, but...
And I loved... I did love that. How they were like the same but different.
They so individual.
I liked it.
But
only okay for them.
You notice it on Instagram, though. These like pretend perfect families.
All over the place.
You kind of love it, though.
I do not love it, Suze. I am the opposite.
Why am I accusing you?
If I could, I would not be on Instagram.
Tell me what you feel.
And I think Instagram is being ruined by stories. It's like...
Really,
yeah.
Sarah? You're so good at stories, though.
I know, but then it's like, what do? I don't post anything. I forget to post on my regular account. It's like we have to curate everything. So it's not really our regular life on the Instagram feed. It's the curated version.
Yeah.
It's the one special
like the framers.
The framers, and I don't like that. And, yeah. And then I end up just looking at the stories instead of the feed sometimes. So, but whatevs. But yeah, I wouldn't be on social media if I didn't have to be.
I know. Thanks for doing that.
You're welcome.
But if you do want to be Instagram ready, which we all do, and you want to have nice glowing skin, I think we all know the answer. BioClarity. And I'm excited because I hate that I have problem skin, so I've always loved their 3-step program that's for clear skin. But they now have an essentials routine for all of you assholes that have great skin, where you can cleanse, restore, and hydrate even if you have normal or dehydrated skin, and you don't have the problems of acne, et cetera, that I have. But both skincare routines are soothing and non-abrasive. They both have Floralux, which is the clever form of chlorophyll that's in plants, and it soothes away blemishes. And it's a healing and anti-inflammatory property within the Floralux, so it's so cool. You guys know that I love it. It's delivered straight to you. It's easy to use. Get started on healthier habits with your skincare. Just go to bioclarity.com. Our listeners will get the first month for 50% off a routine. Plus, shipping is free, and it comes with a 100% risk-free money-back guarantee. What's not to love about that? But you need to enter our code BRAINCANDY. That's bioclarity.com, and enter our code BRAINCANDY. Sarah keeps getting compliments about hers as well because she's like glowing.
Thank you.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm on the regular routine.
Yeah, those people that dress alike though.
Oh my God.
They're like robots.
Yeah.
And it scares me. But I know what you're saying about Instagram, that it does. We all know.
Yeah.
But like I was talking to somebody for our 15 Minutes of Blame, and she was talking about how she likes that it's curated because you can share the best of yourself, and that when most people go on there, it's for a break, and that it's soothing to look at pretty things.
Yeah, that's true. I get the soothing to look at pretty things, but I think there's a part of us that naturally do a comparison. And we either look at us and rate ourselves on a 1 down or a 1 up, like I am better than this or I'm worse than this. And it's just we just naturally do it.
Why?
You can't help it.
What do you know about the brain that makes us do that? Is it just evolution?
I think so.
Survival of the fittest.
I think it's a survival mechanism. I think it's understanding how to position yourself, or like the desire to position yourself in I don't know.
It's weird though, because you see all these body positivity movements and stuff, right. And I've been heartened by different things that shifts culturally that embrace more body types and stuff. But it does still feel like the beauty standard is the white, blah, all the things that we can.
It's like there's a saying that some famous feminist theorist said, it says that society gives with one hand and takes with the other. And that's what happens often, that you see a lot, as praise in one category and criticism in another.
Yeah. It's a shame. But, I mean, I do feel like you can make it work for you, like, depending on what
and who you follow. And, yes.
I unfollow.
You can control it.
Yeah.
Yes, you can control it. And, it just, and sometimes it can just suck you in for,
Yeah, I don't.
long.
The only thing I do on Facebook now is Brain Candy Crush and Brain Candy Book Club. That is all. I don't do any of the posting on my other stuff because I find the Brain Candy Crush page to be really fun, and they post really fun articles and stuff. Wait a minute. By the time this airs, it'll be old news, so that sucks. But did you hear the recording? And
oh my God, I have it written down to talk to you about.
What did you hear?
I can only hear Laurel.
I can only hear Yanny.
No, Suze. What the heck is going on?
They say that it has to do with like frequency. The bass, but
I mean, I can only hear Laurel. It seems like how could any other human being hear anything else? So I watched a breakdown of like the audio, somebody circling different portions of what the audio looks like on a, I don't know, with those audio readers or whatever that pick up the frequencies.
Yeah.
And if you can hear higher frequencies, then you hear the Yanny. And if you can hear lower frequencies. But then I also
maybe it has to do with your own voice.
I also read something. Oh, maybe I have a very low voice and you have a very high voice. Yeah.
But some people can hear both and flip back and forth. So explain that.
Yeah, I listened to it a lot and I couldn't hear anything
You were dying to hear Yanny.
Well, the funniest part of this whole thing was at first, I logged into Twitter and I see a bunch of the challengers tweeting like #Laurel. And I was like, why are we Team Laurel? What happened? Like,
whose side are we against?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, what fight do I have to watch now? And what Twitter beef did she get into this time?
Right.
Turns out it wasn't with Yanny.
That is weird. I know. We shouldn't spend too much time on it because people are going to be like, yeah, that was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, but still, I mean, weird.
It is weird because it is very much like the dress where the colors weren't even similar.
And it really just makes you think, what are people...
I like when you have a conspiracy.
Yeah. What's real and what's not real?
Right.
What are we all hearing and seeing at any given time? You know when I get in a fight with my husband and I'm like, that is not what I said. Maybe he just heard Yanny.
Come on.
This is a Yanny Laurel situation.
That's ridiculous.
Because I swear, sometimes the way he remembers it and the way I remember it, I'm like, are you sure you were there? Was I there?
Luckily, my husband has a terrible memory, which is great for fighting.
You get to use that to your advantage.
Yeah. You are the Adam in this equation.
Yeah.
Because you say that you have trouble recalling when you're in fights.
Because I get emotional. And when you are in a place of emotion, you do not record your memory in a sequential pattern. Like it's not recorded linear. You just record the feelings. So you don't remember what happened. Your body really doesn't remember what happened when if you're in too height of a...
It really pays off to be dead inside.
It really does.
I'm so thankful. Did you hear about the trend where people are hiring tattoo artists to like come to their wedding reception?
Yes, I have. Because
what do you think?
I hear that they're hiring tattoo artists to come to just like little store openings. Because Mariana went and she got a cool tattoo on the side of her wrist.
What'd she get?
That I love. They're just like cool geometric designs.
Yeah, I saw them. They're really
cute.
It.
You know how I have to take inventory every time I see a new friend? And I was like, what's this? What's this on your arm? This is new. When did you get this?
Right. Sarah does not miss a trick.
Can't remember a thing.
Right.
But I'll know exactly what you were wearing last time I saw you.
Right. Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tattoo thing, at least in the receptions, it's like the bride and the groom pay the guy like say $1,500, and he will tattoo as many people as want in the 4 hours. And there's like 6 to choose from. They're small and different designs that they can pick. And I thought, I can see why that would be appealing and why it would be popular.
I see why it's appealing, but as somebody with tattoos, I also know that impulse tattoo getting is never a good idea.
Really?
Yeah, I think this is how...
For anyone or just you?
Oh. Well, I mean, I want to say for anyone, but I don't think I could say that because I don't know if it... I just think that when you are at a wedding or in anything where you're in a place where you're really happy,
probably drinking,
emotions are high, anytime there's a high level of arousal from whatever it is, like I bet if you were to set up a tattoo stand at the bottom of, at the landing pad of sky jumping.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody would get one.
Yeah, heightened arousal.
Yes, it's the heightened arousal that then you're like, yeah, this feels good. Same way, always call somebody after they win a hand in poker. They're definitely bluffing the next time.
Right.
Like 9 out of 10 times.
If you get it in that state, maybe you don't regret it. Maybe you have a sense of it reminds you of that feeling.
It very well could.
Because I could see why, if it were small,
I would just don't get it on your knuckles.
Well, that's the other thing that I didn't like is this guy in particular had limited areas he was willing to do.
Yeah.
Like no, I don't know, like he said not risque. But I guess that might be just
because you can't
privacy.
be like taking your skirt and your dress up at,
I
you
just
imagine
feel like
your
the
lower
body
hip?
parts were limited.
Yeah.
Right.
Lower hip in the middle of a wedding reception. Landon and I that would have been the perfect thing at our wedding.
I know.
And you know what? Everyone would have done it.
Yeah, the guy would have been like, enough.
I know, because half of I'd say a significant amount of the wedding party, you could throw a tattoo on their body and you wouldn't even notice that there was a new one.
Right.
I mean.
Yeah, it would have been real popular.
Landon's best man, it's just like full covered. I mean, just covered.
Yeah, you guys are such weirdos.
Yeah.
What isn't weird though is how excited I am that people are buying our merch.
Yeah.
And when we go to our live Q&As and we are doing trivia now,
Mm-hmm.
And
that's right. Yes,
we've been
awarding
the winners of we do challenge trivia. Mm-hmm. And they get a pin because we have some WTF.
They can answer fastest.
Yeah, MTV logo pins. And also if they want a lollipop pin. And I ship them via stamps.com because it's so convenient. Just print out the postage right here in my desk. You can do it from your house, your work, wherever you are. And slap it on the package or letter. And you pop it in your mailbox and they come get it. You don't have to leave your house. It's so easy. It's reliable. And you don't overpay because you can weigh the package and get the correct amount on the digital scale. So it's exact postage. We use stamps.com because it's a no-brainer if you do a lot of shipping, Etsy, eBay, or if you just send a lot of packages. And right now you can get the stamps.com service with a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, plus postage, and a digital...
That was fun.
I short-circuited.
Yeah, and...
That's awesome. And a digital scale. Go to stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in Brain Candy. That's stamps.com and enter Brain Candy. Now that I'm done short-circuiting, I wanted to introduce a guest.
Ooh.
Were you a fan of the Mythbusters series?
I sure was.
I figured.
/M.
I figured.
Once a fan, always.
That's right. I wonder if there's like a name.
Oh my gosh. In fact, I was living in San Francisco when they did an experiment once that was so loud, everybody in the surrounding towns thought it was some huge explosion. Like they had to make an apology to like the neighboring cities.
She wrote about that.
Yeah, I heard it.
Wow.
And we were like, what was that?
It's scary.
Totally scary.
This gal who wrote a book. Her name is Kari Byron. And she wrote a book called Crash Test Girl.
So cool.
And she is an interesting character because she's not one of these people who, was like auditioning to be on TV. She's an artist and she wanted to work in like special effects. And she stumbled into this role on Mythbusters, totally happenstance.
I always thought she was so cool.
She is cool.
Like, super.
When I read the book, I thought, this is Sarah.
Yeah.
Because like when
Idol.
She went to like a shower or bridal party thing where you have to dump out your purse and like whoever has the coolest stuff wins. And she had like duct tape.
Yes.
Like a beaker, like weird stuff.
Yeah.
She's super into the scientific method, but she's artsy.
Love it.
And she's like real feminine, but real tough, which is you.
I love her.
Yeah, and she is no holds barred, which is why her book is really
well,
good.
I can't wait to read that book now.
Yeah, you got to read the book.
I have to.
But this interview, we talk about what it was like working on Mythbusters because she was pregnant during part of it.
Whoa.
Became a mom during that time. And then the way that the show ended was kind of a bummer, so we talk about that and what she's up to now. And you are going to be very excited about what she's up to now. I won't spoil it, but she's kind of like a Brainiac mascot now. Because she's super cool. So please welcome to the show, Kari Byron. So first of all, congratulations on your book. Aren't you so proud?
This is something I never thought I would do. So for me, this is a huge bucket list. I feel very, very excited to see it actually come out.
Right? You're like a super fancy author now. What the heck?
It's something I can put on my resume.
Well, that was actually something I was struck by and really related to because at the end of your book, the Mythbuster ends and you're talking about like kind of what's next for you and how when you're in this industry, you have to go from one thing to the next and be really flexible. Like, how are you feeling about this stage of your life? We'll kind of work backwards, I guess.
Well, I mean, I've always had a lot of hustle and I've always had several jobs and I get bored easily. Well, I wouldn't say get bored. I create opportunities to keep myself busy.
Yeah.
So when one thing ends, I just try very hard to create my next thing. So, I've made a lot of different TV shows since Mythbusters, but a lot of pilots that you won't see that I thought were amazing, which just happens, which I get really excited about. And when they don't get picked up, it's just shocking. But I also, thought, okay, I gotta work outside the box. For instance, that's why I wrote this book.
Yeah.
And I actually just joined a startup company as well that makes tech toys for girls.
Yes.
So I'm diversifying. I'm really interested in this field.
I freaking love that. And I know our listeners will too, because we call ourselves STEMinists. Because we're feminists and we believe in STEM and teaching girls that science is freaking badass and that they should be into it. So I'm really excited about that project too for you. You're killing it.
I'm trying. I mean, I live in Silicon Valley, so I have seen the entire landscape shift. We've gotten really tech. And even though tech jobs are increasing by like 25% to 2020, girls start dropping out of being interested in science somewhere about, I think, about age 13, it drops by like 65%. So there's something right in that age group. There's something right when girls are young that science and computer science and technology and engineering, like there's something that they aren't sticking to, even though this is this huge, fast growing field. We need diversity. We need a female brain in Silicon Valley. And it's just, this place has turned into a population of men.
Yeah.
It's just a city of men. And I really, really want to capture the girls while they're still young and show them the potential of just holding on to the science and the technology, and that it can be fun and that it can be creative and it can be within the same vein of femininity as other fields that might attract women.
Yes. And I think you are such an inspiration because you successfully, and I was really struck by this in your book, you're a gal who you love, classically female things, but you also love stereotypically male things as well. And there's no incongruity there. You are like, these can go together. They're not mutually exclusive.
I think some of the fields that are very masculine often have a little bit of it. It's intimidating. It's intimidating to walk into a bunch of welders and just not knowing what you're doing and jump into a class. I took a class on welding and I walked in, it was all men. And I'm just like, I'm doing this. I love melting metal. I really, really love melting metal. And I'm just like, I can't let it stop me that it feels like I'm walking into a little bit of a fraternity here.
Yeah, but I think that it's so important. And I really appreciate what you're doing and the message that you're sharing, because once women see, oh, yeah, you can do that and be sexy and fun and feminine, then maybe they might be more inclined to do it, Well,
I think the ethos for this book for me was really I feel like my life journey is about learning to be brave because I'm an inherently very shy girl. And for me, I've had to kind of push myself very hard into experiences. So I'm kind of just showing you my journey to see if other shy girls might be able to do this. Because I was explaining to my daughter one day that bravery, because she's got that same shyness. I can see it in her.
Really?
Bravery, she totally has it, and I can see it. And I'm like, listen, girl, bravery is not a superhero. It's not showing up with all the answers. Bravery is being scared out of your mind and doing it anyway.
Right.
Bravery is failing, falling flat on your face, and then learning why you failed and doing it again.
Oh my God, you're such a great mom. I hope everyone teaches their kids that. I can't relate though to the shy thing. Can you tell me, and this is an honest question, what that feels like to just have a moment where you're like, well, I don't know. What is it? What is the shyness?
I mean, for me, I mean, like that, I didn't choose to be an actor or anything like this. This show wasn't cast Mythbusters, that is.
Yeah.
You know, I was trying to be I'm an arty girl, and I used to draw pictures in my room by myself. So I kind of, you know, wanted to get into special effects and prop making, make monsters. But it just turned out that the show started filming in the special effects shop that I was interning at the same time as I started interning. So, you know, Mythbusters fell in my lap and I was pushed in front of a camera, and it was a bit of trial by fire. But I was told some stories in the book about how shy I actually was. Like around age 13, when, you know, it was junior high, which is just a terror for everybody. I mean, I had just shocking, gripping terror, even to talk to some of the other girls. And I used to have two girls that lived across the street from me, and I would see them leave to go walk for school. I would wait in the kitchen and just like wait with my backpack on. I'd get ready early and see them walking, and then run outside and then walk near them until they invited me to walk with them. And it took me probably a month to actually talk to them because I was just very insecure and shy.
Wait, is that feeling that you had, was it a sense that you weren't worthy to be with them, or just that you were nervous?
A bit of nervous and a bit of just really low self-esteem at that age. And it's, you know, I didn't feel like I looked like the girls in the magazines or the girls on TV. I felt, you know, very awkward, and I was very skinny, and I just didn't have that courage. And it took a lot of putting myself in uncomfortable situations and surviving to make it out of that shell to be the person now who, you know, I'm not the kind of person who likes getting up in front of crowds and talking, but I make myself do it, even if my palms are sweating, because every time I do it, I'm one step closer to being comfortable with it.
Well, and it's never as bad as you think, right? Well,
I mean, sometimes it is.
Yeah, I take that back.
Bad before.
Right, good point. Well, I think a lot of people, especially women, but people in general, have that same feeling. And that's why I thought the book was so important, because here's what you do in the book for the listeners. She is you're telling your story, and you're sharing anecdotes about Mythbusters, which I'm sure the viewers of that show really love. But also, you're saying, here's what I did, and you can do it too. And it's almost a step-by-step guide, and it's very practical for people that have that same personality type.
Well, I liked reading memoirs, and I would like memoirs like Wild, you know, like where they were somewhat, you know, where it was somebody who didn't have all the answers and didn't have it all figured out. And you kind of can see how they made it through and how they figured out how to get to that place that their journey needed to take them. So, you know, I'm not saying that I have the answers, but here's how I did it. And hopefully that can help you too.
Yeah. I was bummed by a couple things that you revealed in the book about the way you were treated. And I know that like the entertainment industry can be brutal, and, you know, everybody's a commodity, and sometimes you're treated like that. But I was really surprised, actually, and I thought you handled it well. Do you feel like when you wrote about, for instance, the way that the show ended and how it was sort of unceremonious, and it wasn't really the most fair way to end something that you'd been a part of all those years, do you look back and feel sad, or what's your emotion now?
Well, now that I've sort of have some distance, I realize it really is, I mean, it's a business, and that's just how business goes. And nobody was ever trying to they weren't trying to necessarily slight me. They just handled it badly in certain areas, like I think they could have handled it all a lot better in certain people. I think that they just panicked and they didn't know what to do, because I don't think they realized how hurt the fans would be at the sudden change. I think they thought that it was going to be a much easier transition, but people were so involved in the show, and we were in people's living rooms for a decade. Yeah. So we became very familiar. And I think that we started to become parts of people's regular life. So for us to just kind of disappear was jarring, and it could have been handled differently, but you never know till you know.
Well, and the powers that be aren't intimate with the audience in the way that you are, so they wouldn't have known that necessarily, but it still bums me out. And then you talk about the sort of, you unwittingly became someone fighting for equal pay. I guess the whole book, you're always unwittingly becoming a part of something. But you found out that maybe you weren't making as much as the fellas, and how you had to handle that. What was it like sharing that and experiencing it?
Well, I actually thought it was very important, just because I have this conversation a lot with women in the industry around me, and actually in every industry around me. This conversation comes up in tech. It comes up in science, where you find out that somebody with the same job title that may not even have as much experience or seniority as you do is getting offered from the get more money just because it's a man, and somehow it's just institutionalized that we're not going to fight for a higher salary, or we're not going to be willing to walk, or we're going to walk away. So I felt it was important for me to throw it out there that I had certain salary struggles, and that I have personally started putting a clause in my contracts for equality, just because as somebody who's been through it, I feel like if I can make it more standard, then the next person that has to come to the table, maybe it won't be such a fight.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that you've done that, because you had to really fight for it, and it was not easy, and hopefully for the next person it'll be a little bit easier. It's always a journey, right?
To this day, my last contract in a show that I did, I had to do that clause, and they almost walked away from me up to the almost day that I left for filming. They weren't going to sign the contract. And it's not over any money dispute, nothing, no dispute other than add in that one clause that says you can't pay me differently if we have the same title. That's
Can you
the only
believe
thing
that
was under a fight.
Like they're fighting the principle. They're not even fighting over $1. That is insane.
Well, I think that it's always been a good way to save money. So you got to try to spend as little as they can, and we're going to try to get as much as we can. So it's all just an honest fight. And it took us a while to get this far. It's going to take us a while to get full equality anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you shared that, though, because I think it is important, and I appreciated hearing it from your point of view. I also loved hearing about how you were Preggers on set and how that was handled. Can you share what that was like? I know I read about it in the book, but just for the listeners.
Yeah, I'm a working mom all the way. The pregnancy was wild. I thought it was going to end my career because, I work with a lot of toxins and explosives and smoke. The production was very cool about figuring out how to work around it and keep working with me. So the production company had to hire people to help in places where I was going to be shorted. For example, like I can't lift heavy things anymore because I have a baby in my belly. I can't be around welding smoke. And, I kept going to the doctor and be like, okay, so at what month do I have to stop shooting guns? Because the baby gets ears. And she's like, wait, what? I don't know. I'm like, you don't know when they get ears? She's like, no, I don't know when you have to stop shooting guns. I have to refer to someone. And then I come back the next week and be like, all right, so we got 25 pounds of C4. At what distance do I have to be that a shockwave won't scramble the baby? She's like, what do you do for a living?
That is so great. And what a weird job it is, but only when you have to ask questions like that are you confronted with truly how weird it is, right?
Right. I know it was definitely strange. It was, I'm working with rockets and all sorts of craziness. And the whole time I'm just like, oh my gosh, I have to take this whole other safety regulation into consideration. But one of the benefits was all of a sudden the production realized, oh, okay. So these guys have been doing everything from cleanup to prototyping to building to we did everything from loading the truck to taking out the garbage.
I cannot believe that.
Everything. Well, we're scrappy. So all of a sudden they realized how much faster we could produce our myths and how many more episodes we could make if we actually hired people to help us.
Yeah, right.
So we had people all of a sudden that could load the truck and take out the garbage and help do some of the building on some, because, the camera would literally go off and we'd still be welding for 3 hours. And, we did all the work ourselves because we were all invested and passionate about whatever we were making. But when you get a little off-camera help, I mean, it doesn't change the passion or the outcome of the story. And then we could get things done that normally would take a week and get them done in a couple days.
Right. It takes a minute for production to sometimes realize, like, this could all be a lot more efficient if you just hire a couple people.
Well, I mean, you got to think that this was the Wild West. I mean, Discovery went from nature documentaries to build shows, and this was all very new. So none of us really, we were inventing it as we were going. I mean, like, we were making prototypes, and we were making a prototype for a show.
Oh my God. I mean, I guess I feel like the passion that you're describing and the fact that you were so invested in it emotionally is why it was a hit, don't you think?
And I think there's a lot of things, it was the right time. It was the right place. I think the fact that we were on TV, but not cast, like none of us came in as models or actors. Like all of us were just our clumsy goofball selves that were just interested in the topic, and our chemistry was real because we knew each other ahead of time, like just stuff that couldn't really be faked. I see reality TV shows a lot where they try to cast a bunch of people together and it just doesn't, you feel it when it's not real.
You really can. And I think they don't give the audience enough credit because people can sniff it out.
Totally.
Right.
People are a lot smarter than the audiences are definitely a lot smarter than we give them credit for. And quite honestly, I think the Mythbuster audience was their intelligence was definitely cumulatively higher than I think a lot of shows.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I was surprised when you talked though about how like on the forums, because obviously you're so beautiful and the audience has eyes and can see that. But after you had your baby, there was talk about, oh, she got her baby body back. And I'm sure that was very strange, even though we've come to accept that as a normal part of the narrative. It's bizarre, right?
I was like, what were you expecting to happen? Right. Women give birth all the time. Right. We go back to normal.
Yeah, but I guess they just really, I mean, you're pretty much the perfect woman, so they didn't want that to change. Like, you're nerdy and you're funny and you're like a guy, but you're like a girl. I mean, you're pretty much ideal. So the pressure's on you. Don't you feel it?
Well, I do now. You're making me blush like crazy.
Sorry, Kari. I'm just the ambassador of the truth over here. One of the things that you put in the book, and you had like these little pages that I thought were cool, like where you'd break down like a little story or tips for this and that. And I really loved this one thing that you said, because you were saying certain things you'll invest money in, like a good pair of boots or different things. And you mentioned that you had a fancy belt and that it was worth the money. And I'm like, I got to know what kind of belt it is because I want one.
Well, I have a really good sturdy leather belt that's like it's a neutral color, and I've been using it for years, and it's got a skull on it, and it's a big brass thick skull. I mean, it's just very useful for me because not only does it open bottles.
Oh my God, it does not.
It does. I mean, I don't know if it was designed that way, but I tend to make anything in my vicinity into a multi-tool because I'm too lazy to find the right thing, I guess. I don't know.
That is great.
I just really think that a good belt, something that's, not something that you get from the mall that's going to snap because it's plastic and that costs you $30 for this designery looking belt.
Yeah, you like the real deal.
You get something that's sturdy and real because you use a belt over and over and over and over and over.
What has it been like for you? I know that your book just came out, so it's probably been a whirlwind, but like, what does it feel like to know that people are now consuming this thing that you were like working on in your own mind and alone for so long?
I was only terrified to have the people close to me read it. I feel like I felt like people would be like, I didn't make the book, or why did you put that in there? Or, I was really scared to have my parents read it and my sister. But after that, the rest of it, I've always been an oversharing kind of person.
Yeah.
You ask me a question, I'm going to give you the full answer. So, my whole dream is that like maybe one girl reads it who is just like me and goes, oh my God, I can do it too. And then maybe she does something she's scared of.
Oh my God. You're for sure that's going to happen. This is the book for those people. I know people are going to love it, and I'm so excited about it.
And it's not just for girls. It's just, I tend to write,
sure.
I wrote the book almost for the young me. I tend to make TV for people who like what I like. Maybe I'm a narcissist. Maybe that's just it.
We always say that on our show too, because both me and my co-host did reality TV, and we're like, there's always going to be a touch of that when you've done reality TV. It's just the way it goes.
I've seen your pictures. You guys are ridiculous.
Oh, we're silly.
Beautiful.
Well, it's all smoke and mirrors, Kari, I promise. So we ask everybody one thing, and I am so interested to hear your answer, because I bet it will be unlike anyone else's. What do you keep in the trunk of your car?
Okay, so I always have a multi-tool, because I think I always have duct tape. I always have shopping bags because it's California.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I am a mom. Right now I have books and autograph cards in case I meet kids. I got swarmed at a candy shop yesterday by a bunch of teenage girls that were just like force feeding me gummy bears that were their favorite flavors. And I'm just like, okay, here, I've got stuff for you,
That's so cool.
Let's see. Do I have anything else that's interesting?
Well, even in your book, you have you won one of those bridal party games where you had to dump out what's in your purse. I thought, oh my gosh, your purse was a riot.
Well, my purse is generally a lot messier than my car because I tend to clean out my car a lot because I have to constantly put tons of stuff in there. But my purse always has weird stuff. Like I always have, I make sculptures. So I tend to have things like doll eyes or gears, like watch gears, tiny little watch gears are always in there. Like I'll find stuff on the street, just be like, ooh, I don't know what I could use that for, but that rusty plate's going to be cool someday.
God, you are
something.
So great. Do you sell your art anywhere?
I do a lot of charity auctions these days.
Nice.
I definitely do a lot of that, but I have not been selling my art. I am turning all my creativity currently into toy design so that
cool.
when Smart Girls is a startup and it's only been selling for about less than a year and I just joined it, but I plan to push a lot of my weird ideas on them and hope that they like them.
Right. What a perfect outlet for your gifts. It combines your artistry and your science nerdiness.
We got to get girls coding somehow. Might as well do it with cute things.
Right. Well, keep up the good work. Is there anything that you wish people would ask you, but they don't?
Not really. My favorite are people come up to me on the street, and I love the weird questions they get. They'll be like, "What's your favorite dessert? What's the worst smell you ever smelled on Mythbusters?" Like stuff like that. That I'm just like, well,
glad you asked. Yeah.
I do have a category for that. It's wolf urine.
Oh my God. Why is it so bad? What does it smell like?
Well, maybe it's just what we collected, but wolf urine from a lactating, bitch, I guess. I don't know how it's a podcast. You can actually say those words.
Yeah,
okay.
You got it.
So wolf urine from a lactating female dog and sitting in quantity in the sun, it tends to get very pungent. And we were trying to at one time beat a guard dog by distracting it, and a bunch of that urine got inside of the helmet that I had on. And I was gagging so violently in the helmet from like almost throwing up from the smell that I actually gave myself a bloody nose.
Are you kidding me?
So that's on my like list of tops, but it could be that it was in the vicinity because like there's a lot of bad smells we could go into. I think I put them in the book.
You sure did. It was so great. Like that's what was so fun about the book because it had a lot of great information and cool stories, but then there were also these pages where it'd be like, here's some terrible smells I had to endure. But
well, glad you liked it.
I loved it, and I know our listeners will too. So keep up the good work, and just, thanks for being such a badass.
Well, thank you for being a badass. It was fun talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. And best luck with your podcast. I think that's the future. That's
I was
awesome.
going to say, you should do one, man. So if you ever feel like it, you let me know.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you. Take good care.
You too. Bye.
Bye. This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Babes and Babies, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.